to be crystal clear on, okay? Early childhood education. Conception to age 8. That's what I mean when I'm saying early childhood. And let me also be clear, this is not schools working alone. This is schools working with healthcare and social service agencies, a collaboration there. Because an OBGYN is going to identify an expectant mom as at risk. What happens next? Is there a visiting nurse service that works with that family throughout that pregnancy? Is there a midwife that works with that mother throughout that pregnancy? Is there something in the community that brings expectant mothers together or young mothers together so they can learn from each other and help to build them as mothers so they create nurturing environments at home?
We have those programs here. I just
Yeah.
want you to know.
Okay,
the
good.
problem with Rochester is not the resources and the services that are available.
Yeah.
It's the outcomes that we get because they're notoriously horrible. We're the most resource-rich place I've ever been to, and I'm from the Bronx City. And, you know, I've been to Philly, Cali. We are it. Like, there are, for every one problem, there's like 100 agencies and resources that are available, but there's
So
no
you mentioned
connection.
outcomes, right? So thank you so much for saying that. So let's take a step back now. How well are the current agencies working together to meet the needs of the community?
They're not.
So that sounds like bullet point number
Very
one.
Yeah.
Now, before we even talked about early childhood, bullet point number one, how do we organize agencies to work collaboratively to meet the needs of the families? And what research-based practices are they implementing? Because what I'm trying to share is research-based. What I'm trying to share is research-based, right? But you're right, that's not just Rochester, that's all over the place. We got hundreds of organizations doing so-called great work, but they don't work together to meet the needs, right? So how do we, so this is why, and I should have said this first, and this is why maybe, you know, my mistake. The first thing a superintendent needs to do is listen to the community, to hear what's happening, so that then we can come up with strategy. I came with a solution, and you pushed back, which is exactly what you should do, and clarified that for me. So the first thing needs to happen sounds like some collaboration around supporting early childhood development. We're not going away from early childhood, but we want to do it better. And another thing I want to mention too, and I thought about this when you responded, it's not about programs, it's about people. It's not about programs, it's about people. So you got a phenomenal program, fully resourced with money and whatever else, computers, everything. If you got horrible people running it, right, it's not going to be effective, and you're not going to have the results. So bullet point number 2 then.
We have a lot of that too.
What do you say?
We have a lot of that too. Horrible people running some
Correct.
programs.
So,
but they're
so,
not very
so,
good.
so bullet point 2, how do we bring in the best people for Rochester at all levels? And how do we train the people who are here to be better? And how do we get rid of the ones who don't need to be here? So that, because I'm a big people person. My school works and has worked because I tried my best to hire great teachers and spoil them and hold them to high expectations and keep them trained, keep professional development. And then I keep training. I'm always at conferences, learning. Teachers are learning. So that's that. I'm a big people person, right? So that might be bullet point number 2.
Dr. Bowman,
Yes,
pardon
sir.
for interrupting, but I was one of the initial architects of the anti-poverty program. I took lead from Kodak in 1964. But at that time, we were talking about the health of infants and their developmental stage. One thing that a pediatrician and I attempted to do with the pediatric groups is that when you bring in a child for an examination and you determine the developmental stage of the youngster, you should have on file in your office books or material that is appropriate to the development stage of the child. You have to start reading to children as you know, from their birth, because that's part of the brain development. But I think those who are still having children going to pediatricians, ask the pediatrician, do you have material that is appropriate to the developmental stage of the child.
Mhm.
And if they can't tell you, you better consider to get another
Thank you.
pediatrician.
Yeah, yeah.
There's a program, could I just
Yes,
interrupt?
please.
There's a program called Reach Out and Read, which was developed by pediatricians. And there are some of those that exist in the city, but I don't know that they're, and I participated in one, just as a volunteer
Yeah.
in the waiting room. And I don't know if there's been any follow-up to those things.
Well, you have one pediatrician who is way ahead of the game, and it's Dr. Neil McNabb, who is very interested in those kind of things. And good pediatricians now talking about epigenetics
Yes.
and how a child's development from age 0 to 3 is impacted by the environment
Yes.
that child finds.
Yeah, absolutely. Epigenetics, yes.
Right.
So,
I know you gotta finish.
go ahead.
I just have information, my grandchildren were read to from the time they were, I talked to my daughter when she was 6 months old, she talked.
Mhm.
I talked to her like an adult, but my other daughter read to her kids every night, and the little girl, Summer, could read hard books at 3, put Pulses of the United States, name the state and capital at 2. They're traveling around the world right now. I think the vaccines are terrible. They give 30 are required, or 60 by the time they're in kindergarten, and a lot of kids are being damaged by vaccines. If you don't believe it, then give them vaccines, but a lot of kids are being damaged by vaccines. It's been on the computer, a girl couldn't talk after especially the HPV is terrible, and they did it in Rochester at the U of R. People have gotten paralyzed from it and so forth to eradicate cervical cancer, which is kind of ridiculous. I have information, you can believe what you want. Trump is a rogue, he's gonna change things, he's gonna
Well,
supposedly.
I don't mean to interrupt you,
Okay,
but
well-
I'd like for us to stay on because
Well, I gotta.
yeah, I mean, I just, if you, and I'm sorry, we can talk about that later, but I would really like for us to stay on,
Yeah, so
so
let
we
me,
make sure we stay on track.
I know you had your hand up.
Yes,
Then I'll jump in.
What I wanted to say is that a lot of information, it do not get to our parents, nor to the community.
Yeah.
They, letters don't go out to the parents as to what is going on in the district. They got all, now, and you was correct, that we got all kind of information, but it does not get to our community.
Yeah. So one of the things I was thinking about, so I've been here less than about 24 hours now. And I met a bunch of all of you amazing people and the gentleman from the community center yesterday. Y'all need to become like some type of group, some type of Rochester parent group.
We are.
Because, right? I don't know if everybody in this room is in
Well,
the
I'd like
group.
to be a part of the group.
Yeah,
I don't
exactly.
know, and could we?
So what I'm thinking, Dr. Graham, is this group plus the gentleman yesterday. I'm sorry, I'm forgetting. his
Mr.
name.
Mahoney.
Mr. Mahoney. Let's get on the email thread. Let's share resources, consistently talk, and get organized. And begin with this group here, because y'all can tell me what y'all need to do. I'm here and I appreciate being here, and as you can tell, I'm passionate about this. But you all
But Mr.
know
Bowman.
so much, and I would love to consult and share things that we do in New York that could be helpful here. But that consistent communication with parents about resources, collating the resources so that they're effective, figuring out how to make the adults accountable and better trained to meet the needs of the community. See, like that, so I think that's kind of a next step, I think. Yes.
And what bothers me the most, when you go, like me, I'm very outspoken. I might curve my tongue, but I don't bite it.
Yeah.
I might curve it, but I don't bite it.
Uh-huh.
When you go to the people in there necessary, like you go to the mayor, or, if you go to one of the legislators, this and that, now, I'm gonna be frank with you, the mayor listens. I can't not say, she took out her busy schedule, didn't she guys, for the RPA. She will listen. Now, how fast she's getting stuff, we're working on that.
Yeah.
But you can go to the city officials and you can voice your opinion and you can do this and it's nothing ever done.
So-
And it's just like beating a dead horse.
I know, and it's frustrating, so I'm gonna come over there just like a hug Dr. Cooper. I'm gonna come hug you too, because you said something, you said something that's very important. Listen to what she said. She said, another thing that get me frustrated. You're not allowed to get frustrated, okay? You could get, what's it called, righteous indignation.
Okay.
That's allowed. You can't get frustrated, you can't get upset, or let me not say that. You can be upset for 5 minutes.
Okay.
Then after that, you gotta get back on your horse and keep going. You gotta keep going. And thank you for what you do, because listen, we human, and it's a process and it's normal. But one of the things I've learned is you gotta get right back on that horse like Dr. Cooper been doing, his entire life. But I also wanted to say, from what I understand, the power players involved here are superintendent, school board, mayor, teachers union, and anybody involved in economic development, right? And I'm probably missing a group or two. But those are the people that this group consistently communicates with around our demands, around the initiatives that we're gonna put forward. We consistently communicate with them, and if they don't respond accordingly, then they gotta be voted out, voted in, and what have you. But it's the persistent, relentless communication between each other and organizing around what our demands are and what we want. Yes.
Can you talk a little bit more about, because what I'd like to be part of this group is the person who, because I'm good at building relationships, I'm going to take some time to find out exactly scheduling, because we have some barriers, but to really execute our plan and move forward for our next steps, can you help us understand our role? Because I think that a lot of times people,
Our role means
as parents, like
Okay.
we don't, because we think that the power players start with the superintendent but it actually starts with us.
Yeah.
So can you talk a little, you started talking about it.
Yeah, so I'm a parent, I have a daughter that's gonna start preschool, she's almost 3. And, so, let's say she attended a school, a public school, and, and I felt that the school wasn't doing right by my daughter, right? I'm coming to the school, like the next day, and I wanna meet with somebody about whatever the issue is. I'm meeting with a teacher, or the assistant principal, or the principal, and the guy, I mean, with whoever's necessary to ensure that school does right by my daughter. So just in that sort of very practical sense, that's where, and then let me talk about it from the principal side. A parent could come in my school anytime and ask to meet with me, and I'm taking that meeting. There's no way I'm not gonna take a meeting with a parent that wants to meet me. There's no, yes, you can. That's what I'm saying. So what is you can't do it?
They told us we have to have 24 hours. But we have to-
Notice.
Okay, I don't really know about that, especially if it's not in writing. But
I don't
is
think
it in
so.
law?
No.
Hold on a minute.
That's what I'm saying. That's not in law.
That's what they tell
Yes.
us.
Dr. Bowman, but what you're experiencing is everything that has been brainwashed.
Yeah,
upon the
correct. That's
community,
not law.
So get it all
First of
out
all,
because-
not only is it not
none of that
law,
stuff
not
is
only is it not law, it's not even good management. Like, you serve the parent. I serve my children and their family.
That hasn't been my experience in the district though, as a
Oh,
parent.
well, that's
I never
good.
had, but I'm also not accepting that answer, like,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
unacceptable. If I come out of my busy schedule to come down to a school because there's an issue, there's a real big, serious issue, I'm not leaving until I
And
see
if
someone.
that principal doesn't
If I
meet
gotta
with
call
you,
the media,
the superintendent
the
has to
school
know
board,
that
somebody can see
that
it.
same day. That's what I
Okay,
mean.
so
Yeah.
I don't have
Wait,
the problem
wait,
because I
so
do.
wait, hold on 1 second. You're saying after we experience that, because I can show you my inbox on Facebook, not
Yeah.
my email.
Yeah.
So the next step would be the superintendent?
I would
Or-
think so,
okay.
yes.
Because I don't want to turn this into a bashing, I like to take our, you know what I
we
mean,
wanna
where
be,
we can.
I'm solution oriented, right?
Okay.
So,
Can I just say too,
Yes.
even for here in Rochester, each school board member has schools under them.
Right.
I used to just go on the website, who your school board
Liaison.
member, email the school board member, the superintendent, copy in the principal, and let them know, here are all my concerns that were not addressed. And my next step was always to threaten them with media, because here's your policy, here's how your school's not following the policy to protect my child. And at this point, I'm gonna use my voice as a parent